Welcome to this collection of real dramatized Bigfoot sightings. Encounter 1. The early morning sighting that changed everything. Report details. Occurrence date, July 1976. Time and conditions 7 a.m., clear morning, dew on the grass **. Witnesses 2 witness account. It was just another early morning on the farm. My friend and I were checking fences and cattle when we came across a broken down fence. As we drove across the meadow, we noticed something unusual, a massive dark figure standing at the tree line. For 20 long seconds it stood there staring at us. It wasn't just tall, it was enormous, covered in dark hair with long ape-like arms. Then without a sound it moved. But it didn't run, it strode, effortlessly covering ground in a way I had never seen before. A creature that shouldn't exist, but there it was. Frozen in shock, we raced back to the farm to tell my friend's father. A hardened man, he dismissed us outright. But when he checked the area, he saw something that made him go pale. A milk cow had been torn in two, its body parts separated by 8 feet, intestines still linking them together. Nearby, a fence had been ripped apart like melted taffy. The authorities came. They took everything. They spoke to no one. The official report? Wolves, but I know what I saw. My friend's family moved away soon after, and he never spoke to me again. But I'll never forget that morning. Ever. Physical description: over 7 feet tall, dark hair, not very long. Long arms, ape-like * eyes reflecting light. Sounds heard. None. Complete silence. Additional observations. Movement was unlike anything seen before. Encounter 2. A terrifying midnight attack. Report details. Occurrence date, September 1982. Location, Modoc County, California. Time and conditions, 10 p.m. clear night, moonlight present. Witnesses, 3 witness account. Imagine stepping outside your cabin and hearing deep, guttural grunts, louder than any animal you've ever heard. My 17-year-old son was walking to his small travel trailer when he saw it. A towering 8-foot creature standing by the trailer. One massive arm wrapped around a tree limb. The smell was unbearable, like rotting flesh and wet dog. Its body was covered in hair except for its hands and face. Its head came to a point at the top. Then, it attacked. My son sprinted for the trailer, yanking the door handle as the beast tried to tear it from his grasp. He screamed for his life. The thing reached onto the roof, ripping off the air vent with inhuman strength, shoving its massive hand inside. We heard my son's screams from the cabin. My husband grabbed his gun and ran, firing as he got closer. The creature was hit twice, once in the shoulder, once below. It let out a horrible, echoing sound and disappeared into the darkness. My son, shaking, whispered, "Mom." It was waiting for me. It was watching. It wanted to kill me. Physical description: 8 feet tall, dark tan skin on hands. Dark brown / rust-colored hair. Sounds heard: deep grunting, horrible smell, present. Additional observations: blood and footprints were found the next day. Encounter 3. The childhood nightmare that never faded. Report details. Occurrence date, November 1955. Location, Tanacross, Alaska. Time and conditions, 9 p.m., full moon, clear visibility *. Witnesses, 3 witness account. I was only 6 years old, but I remember it like it was yesterday. My sister, my niece, and I were babysitting next door. The full moon lit up the entire village like daylight. We were about to leave when Dorothy, my niece, suddenly froze. Her voice shook. "What is that?" We turned to look, and there it was. A massive creature, 12, 13 feet tall, covered in off-white hair. But its face, its hand, were bare. It wasn't just watching us, it knew we were kids. It stood perfectly still, its huge eyes shifting sideways to look at us. It listened to us. It was aware. I was terrified. My sister covered my mouth to keep me from crying. But even then, something in its stance, in the way it didn't move aggressively, made me feel like it didn't want to scare us. Then, as if deciding it had seen enough, it turned. Long strides, arms swinging, it vanished into the trees. The village dogs went crazy, barking, howling. We never told anyone, not for years, because in our culture, elders always warned us, "Don't go too far into the woods, the boogeyman will get you." I never knew how real those warnings were, until that night. Physical description: 12, 13 feet tall, Off-white hair covering its body, but face and hands exposed. Long arms, swinging as it walked, sounds heard. None. Total silence. Encounter 4. The hiker, the hidden creature, and the unnatural silent report details. Occurrence date, June 2020. Location, Trinity County, CA, * time and conditions. 10 a.m., sunny, clear skies. Witnesses, 2 witness account. I've spent months hiking through the wild. I've seen bears, deer, mountain lions, everything. But nothing like this. That day, my husband and I were trekking through a remote area when we heard it. An unfamiliar animal call like nothing we'd ever heard before. I looked towards the creek, and there it was. At first, it was just a black, round head drinking from the water. But the second it noticed me, its eyes widened in fear, and it bolted, but not like a bear. Not like any animal I know. First, it ran on all fours, low, fast, zigzagging like it was trying to stay hidden. Then, halfway up the hill, it stood upright. 2 legs, running like a human, but faster. It was watching me the whole time. That night, I woke up to the worst stench I'd ever smelled. I wasn't alone. My sister-in-law in a different cabin woke up to it too. Something had followed us home. Physical description. Tall and skinny with short black hair, no visible ears, ran on all fours, then switched to 2 leg sounds. Heard unfamiliar animal calls about 6 times. When it saw me, it called out fearfully, Encounter 5. The mysterious gift giver in the woods report. Details. Occurrence date, summer 1985. Location, Wayne County, Pennsylvania *. Time and conditions, warm, sunny day, woods with shade * witnesses, 1 witness account. I thought I was alone, but someone was watching me. I spent my summers on my father's uncle's property, a cabin deep in the woods. I loved nature, loved animals. I knew the sounds, the habits of every creature around me, but this was different. Every day I sat on my favorite boulder, eating my lunch and reading. But suddenly everything went silent. No birds, no rustling. My dog Prince refused to leave my side, something he never did. I started leaving food on the boulder. Apples, fish, acorns. Every day it was gone. Every scrap, even the fish bones. Then one day rocks appeared. Smooth, colorful river rocks placed right where I had left the food. Something was trading with me. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't know what to say. But the day I actually saw it, everything changed. It was huge. Dark brown black fur, a broad chest, long arms, and no neck. It was watching me from the trees. Studying me, then comma suddenly. It banged its chest so hard I felt the vibrations through the ground. I turned to look at Prince, normally fearless, a protector. But this time, he was shaking. I looked back, and it was gone. Physical description. At least 8. 12 feet tall, *. Dark brown black fur, *. No visible neck sounds heard. Loud chest banging, *. Deep growling, *. Soft, almost human-like gurgling. Encounter 6. A horse ride turns into a nightmare report. Details. Occurrence date, summer 2004. * location, Parker County. TX * nearby. Vicinity, Poolville *. Time and conditions, mid-morning to noon. Witnesses, 1 witness account. The summer sun filtered through the trees as my family and I rode our horses through our neighbor's massive wooded property. Normally, we'd hear the rustling of wildlife, turkeys, deer, even wild hogs. But today, silence. No birds, no rustling, no wind. Just nothing. Then movement. I turned my head just in time to see something in the treetops. Long, red-tinted hair hung from arms gripping a high branch. It was huge, squatting on a lower branch, bouncing, pulling the branches, shaking them. The light made its fur glow like fire. At first I thought, orangutan? But that made no sense. I asked my family if they had seen it. They laughed, brushed it off, but I know what I saw. And every time we rode in that area after, the silence returned. Like the forest was holding its breath. Like something was watching. Physical description. Long reddish-brown hair *. Large, powerful build. Climbed trees with ease, sounds heard none. Complete unnatural silence. Encounter 7. The face-to-face encounter that changed everything. Report details. Occurrence date, November 2013. Location, Cherokee County, Texas. Nearby vicinity, Jacksonville. Time and conditions, 1 p.m., clear and sunny. Witnesses, 1 witness account. I lived alone in a lake cabin surrounded by deep woods owned by a hunting club. My closest neighbor, a man who had lived there for decades, always told me to carry protection when hiking. I wish I had listened. That day, I left around 2 p.m., hiking deep into the trails. No one else was around. I marked the trailhead to show I was out there. About a mile in, I reached a clearing where deer usually gathered. But today, no deer, no sound. Something was watching me. A deep grumbling whoop echoed from the hillside. I froze. I had walked right past it. Instinct took over. I turned and yelled as loud as I could, trying to scare it off. "Hey, this is my hill!" Then it stepped out. Only 10 yards away, towering over me, easily 7, 8 feet tall, broad, covered in auburn brown hair, huge teeth, long canines. And then it yelled back. A deep, echoing roar. Before I could react, it leaped off the trail, clearing a 25-foot drop into the wash below. I could hear it running on 2 feet as it disappeared. I turned and ran, sprinting the entire way home. My neighbor, he had heard it too. The deep, inhuman yell. I never hiked alone again. Physical description: 7, 8 feet tall, auburn brown hair, large teeth, prominent canine sounds, heard deep grumbling, whoop, echoing roar. Encounter 8, the vanishing figure in the trees. Report details: occurrence date, spring 1994, location, Lynn County, Oregon. Nearby vicinity, Cascadia. Time and conditions: between 5-7 p.m., clear weather. Witnesses: 1 witness account: it happened in Fernview Campground, deep in Oregon's wilderness. I was walking past the bathroom window, glancing outside when I saw it. At first, I thought it was a tall man walking up the community road. But then, I noticed the stride. Long, powerful, effortless. Auburn-colored hair, 6, 8 inches long, covering its entire body. Broad shoulders, slender hips, the physique of an athlete, but easily 7, 8 feet tall. It knew I was watching. I felt it. Then it passed a tree and never came out the other side. Just vanished. My dog lost it, barking, straining against its leash. I ran outside, but it was gone. No footprints, no movement, nothing. Later, I realized something else. For weeks before that moment, we had heard wood knocks at night, echoing cries in the darkness, and sometimes a stench so awful it burned your nose. Now I wonder, had it been watching all along? Physical description: 7, 8 feet tall, long auburn hair, silky, extremely athletic build. Sounds heard: none during sighting. Previous wood knocks and distant cries. Overpowering stench at times. Final thoughts. These stories all share one thing in common: the undeniable presence of something out there. Something massive, intelligent, watching. If you've ever heard a strange call in the woods, if you've ever felt the eerie silence before something unseen moves, maybe, just maybe, you weren't alone. What do you think? Do Bigfoot creatures really exist? Let's discuss in the comments.